In this episode of Stecker Studios, we add our final details to our two-point perspective urban landscape drawing. The first thing that I'm going to add are some streetlights. To do this, I'm going to draw two parallel vertical lines, real close together. Once I have these two lines set up, I'm going to turn my ruler, align it with the far vanishing point, and draw two more lines across the middle to create a bar going across for traffic lights. Above that, I'm going to place two more parallel lines that connect to my far vanishing point for a street light. Next, I'm adding a fire hydrant. This is basically a cylinder shape with a dome top. Draw two parallel lines vertically, round off the top, create a ellipse for the bottom, and draw two cylinders coming out of either side. A trash can in the alleyway is basically a cylinder shape that narrows at the bottom. To add a second street light further down the street, I'm going to run a line from the top of our first street light to the vanishing point to tell us how tall this one should be. Then I'll follow the same steps that I made the earlier one with. To create street lines, simply run two closely spaced lines to each vanishing point. If you're going to break these up and make them dotted, remember that they should appear smaller and closer together as they get further away. To create a crosswalk, simply extend the width of the sidewalk and run a series of lines connecting to the vanishing point to create a series of rectangles. To draw a car, normally you draw two rectangle shapes, one on top of the other. The bottom one being just a little bit bigger and making sure that they're aligned with both vanishing points. In this demonstration, I'm taking a little bit of a different approach, building it piece by piece, starting with the front end of the car, adding the hood, the windshield, the roof, and the rear hatch. Once you have the body of the car drawn, you can add details such as bumpers, lights, wheels, and any other details that you wish to add. You can finish the car out by rounding out the edges and the corners. I'm going to add a few palm trees here. I'm going to draw the first one nice and large and the second one and make it much smaller further away in the distance. To add segments to the sidewalk, simply run a line to the far vanishing point every so often, making them get closer as they get closer to the vanishing point. And now some final details: a series of overlapping mountains, an antenna, and one last tree. There's one last video in this series called Urban Watercolor Landscape that I'll provide a link for in the description, where we finish off the drawing that we just created here with some watercolor paint.